as your practice grows, you'll face a challenge that catches most attorneys off guard. That is that success brings more opportunities. That sounds good, right? But there is a vicious trap lurking in all of these opportunities, and saying yes too often can weaken or destroy your law practice. In this video, I will walk you through the domino effect that happens once you make the commitment to focus your law firm, and how saying no gives you an unfair marketing advantage. And third, how disciplined focus leads to even higher margins and more profit. My name is Jeff Hughes, and I'm the CEO of Sterling Lawyers. We are a 25+ attorney family law practice doing over 15 million in revenue. And I share what we are doing to help other family lawyers build the practice of their dreams. So back in 2014, we started our practice in June of that year, and we started with virtually nothing. We had one attorney that joined our practice, and he brought a few clients over from his prior practice, and away we went. And let me tell you, my ego got a wild ride, and I was loving almost every bit of it. In that first 18 months, we grew from that original one attorney to 8 attorneys. And we also grew the practice areas that we were in. We started with family law, then we started to do criminal law, then we added personal injury onto that, then we added some business cases onto that, and then we added some estate planning cases. Well, you get the story, right? We took virtually everything that we could bring in the door. And on the outside, I was gratified, but on the inside, I had a gnawing, sick gut feeling that I was investing my career in mediocrity. I did not like where it was going. Frankly, we were not very good. We were getting bar complaints from clients for not serving them well. It just felt like a messy practice, and I did not want that to be the story of my career. So my partner Tony and I went down to Florida, and we met with a consultant, Lee Rosen, and out of that we came away with pages of to-dos to improve our practice. But there were 2 major headlines that we came away from. That is, we were going to focus our practice behind one practice area. And for us, we were the best at family law, and that's what we chose. The second one, we wanted to innovate with how we billed our client, how we handled fees. We wanted to move over to a fixed fee model rather than an hourly model, because we knew that that would have a host of downstream kind of DNA changes in our law firm. So we implemented those changes, and we did it with lightning speed. We did it within 6 weeks. The outcome of that, however, was very painful. We had to let half of our legal staff go, and that was hard. Those were good people who were doing the best that they could. We also had to let half of our clients go because we couldn't serve them anymore because they weren't in family law. We had to refund a bunch of fees, and we had to pay severance. It was just a really, really hard and difficult, painful time for a few months. So I went from 8 attorneys down to 4 attorneys. And that was in January, February of 2016. And by the end of that year, we had double our size again. We went back up to 8 attorneys, but the difference was we were just in family law this time. So it was a much easier to manage practice. And of course, the revenue began to follow that. And we had 3 or 4 years of just massive growth, and some years doubling and tripling our size in that period of time. And I learned something significantly valuable to our practice that I want to impart to you. And I want to make the case to you today to focus your family law practice. And I mean, really focus that practice. And I understand and I recognize that what I'm advocating today is the minority viewpoint. This is not the majority opinion. The majority opinion of our colleagues in family law do a host of other things. That's the vast majority of them do that. Now, maybe they only do family law and estate planning, or maybe they add other aspects of family law onto it. But when I say we only do family law, what that means is we only do divorce, paternity, and post-judgment on those things. We don't do guardianships, we don't do adoptions, we don't do a host of grandparent rights things. We don't do those things because we want to be amazing and focused around one thing. And even within that practice area, one type or a couple types of cases that we handle. So I want to make the case to you that you do that and you follow through on it with the discipline that it demands over the years to come and years to follow as you grow where it gets even harder to stay focused, you will have rewards that are hard to anticipate today as I make this case and as you're listening to this video or podcast. So the trend remains to broaden out your firm. I'm asking you to consider bucking that trend, bucking what everyone else does, and focusing your firm instead. And I want to form that around 5 arguments for why focusing a law practice will give you a better practice, and I'll dare say, a better life. Okay, 1, the lawyer is going to get better. Your client service will improve. Your operations will become more efficient. You'll have an unfair marketing advantage, and you'll make more money. That's my case. So let me break it down for you and put some meat on those bones. Okay, so the lawyer gets better. So you focus your practice. Let's say even if you're a sole practitioner, you focus your practice. It's easy to do that when you're just one attorney. It becomes harder to do that as you grow, but the power grows with that. What I mean by that is if you're an individual attorney and you're focused, there's a lot of power in your practice. But if you can build and you can add more attorneys to that practice that are also focused, there's an exponential rate of return that comes whenever you do that. You start to learn the basic procedures of your practice area. You're in family law. You get that foundational knowledge. You understand, of course, the basic statutes, the most important case law that's out there. And the more cases you start to do, you start to develop your pattern recognition. You start to see really fact patterns that look and sound very similar to previous ones, so you're able to handle them quicker. There's something that happens in your analysis ability that enhances your ability to give clients better service because you understand their patterns better because you've had other ones that you've already been through, that you've already seen how they turn out. So you can predict the future. You can see around corners a little bit better. Then your strategy acumen begins to emerge and begins to improve. Then you start to move into this advanced pattern recognition, advanced strategies, and ways to look at cases that are so unique and are so effective that it draws the attention of judges, it draws the attention of other people in your bar or in your area. Then you start to find more innovation in your solutions. Then you're at the mastery level. That happens individually and that can happen corporately to a law firm. So when we made our shift, we had 4 attorneys. And over time, what I just described to you, that evolution of those things, that cascading domino effect of things that begin to happen, that has happened in our law firm. And so we can have an attorney leave and it doesn't change the essence of our entire firm. We are finding more and more of our attorneys are getting to that mastery level much faster because of our firm's focus. All those things from beginning pattern recognition to advanced pattern recognition to advanced strategies to innovations and solutions and ways to look at cases, because there's that exchange of information within our practice among our attorneys that is so fast and happens at such an extensive rate within our practice. Everyone's doing the same thing and trading information. Now, if our practice were to allow, let's say, estate planning. Now, estate planning, you can make the argument in family law that estate planning, well, that's almost necessary because clients have gone through a divorce. Now they need to revise their estate plan. Okay, that's a logical case to make. And yes, there is money being left on the table. You could argue because we're not doing that estate plan for that client. But every time someone in our firm would go off and do an estate plan, that's a distraction. Now maybe it's a de minimis distraction, but it's still a distraction. And the more times that you allow distractions to interrupt that virtuous cycle, the slower the development of the law firm, the slower the development of the lawyers. These repetitions are what really matters. The more reps you get, the better you get at something. Muscle memory kicks in. Mental memory kicks in. It all begins to feed itself when you can stay focused and avoid all possible distractions, even if it feels like and looks like you're leaving money on the table. I would contend to you that at the end of the day, you're actually making more money, not leaving money on the table. Hello, Jeff here. My team and I have built a family law practice resource website at jsterlinghughes.com. That's jsterlinghughes.com. And it is loaded with all kinds of information and downloads and educational content to help you build the family law practice of your dreams. So if you haven't, please go to my website, subscribe to the newsletter, and I promise each week I'll send you valuable content that will help you build a beautiful law firm, as well as share with you news and developments happening around the United States that impact the practice of family law. Number 2, client service gets better. Naturally, the more reps that we get, the better we get at serving clients, the more we can anticipate their questions, their concerns, their anxieties, and the more we can get ahead of alleviating them and communicating with them in a way that they can receive, they can understand. The more we can anticipate for them what court is going to look like and go into those granular details that only like deep experience can provide. And we can share that with our clients. So our service toward them gets better and our results for them also get better. Now, I've had, at this point as I sit here, almost 9 years of watching this develop within our firm. And it started with the better we got, the more clients trusted us. And so that really built the foundation of our relationship with our clients. They begin to trust us because we understood their specific situations more deeply. We could answer their questions with greater confidence. And I've already said we can anticipate their needs before they arose. And then as the years have gone by, we've had these same clients come back for post-judgment matters. We've had so many of them refer other family members and friends into our firm. And we have tracked our referral rates and they have consistently grown over the years. And we don't do branding, unfortunately, I will point out. So we're getting these from current clients or from past clients who come back or refer others into us. Their positive experience, of course, leads to quality referrals. And we all know that quality referrals tend to be better clients. They tend to convert much quicker. They tend to be more valuable from a financial perspective. And each one of these cases formed a virtuous cycle that strengthened our reputation. And over time, we've evolved our service, we've improved our service. Our solutions have become more innovative, more tailored to complex situations that we have handled more and more effectively. So the net of all of this is that our expertise has deepened, which has meant more clients have received thorough, confident, and effective representation. And they've benefited from our accumulated wisdom in handling these similar cases, even as new attorneys have come into our practice, because their rate of growth has been faster because they are surrounded by focused attorneys that have more experience and that are passing that on to them. So our client service has definitely improved it. And if that weren't enough, we have tracked our service scores since we made the pivot to family law. Every year we have set new records for our client service scores every single year. Right now we are at an all-time high as of last month. And I would venture to say that will continue to grow, that will continue to improve in the years ahead as we continue to stay focused. And I will point out to you that it has not been easy. Over the past 9 years, I have had to consistently hold the line on not doing anything else, whether that be guardianships, because we get a ton of guardianship type calls. They come in every single day and we just refer them out. We certainly have estate planning opportunities. I have felt and I have maintained, and I believe this is borne out in our performance results, staying focused has made all the difference in our practice, but it's required us to do that year after year after year and stay focused and not taking our eye off that ball. So today, 9 years in, almost 9 years in from our pivot, we still only do divorce, paternity, and post-judgments. The only exception that has happened sometimes is when there's a restraining order related to our clients. Our clients have to be either married or have a child together for us to take that restraining order case. So they're really hand in hand. They go with each other. So there is that minor carve-out exception I will point out. Number 3, your operations will become more efficient. I'm not talking just about the communication between the lawyer and the client. I'm talking about all of the supporting operations that support that attorney. Everything from paralegals, legal assistants, to your back-end finance team, to your HR team, to your intake team, to your sales team if you have one of those. All of those things become more efficient as they continue to stay focused on one practice area. It's natural. Specialization of a firm naturally leads to operational excellence because our systems and processes are constantly being fine-tuned toward the same outcome. We're getting better and better at delivering that outcome. Our documentation and procedures have become more refined and more effective. Our case management has become more predictable and efficient. Like, I know all of our attorneys meet with their paralegals on a weekly basis for case reviews. Those meetings used to take a long time. Now they've gotten much shorter. and I would say much more effective. And from a leadership standpoint, as we allocate resources, we can allocate those resources much more effectively because we know exactly what each type of case requires and the relative value of each of these case types. So we can allocate our financial resources, our human resources, much more effectively in those ways. The fourth reason to focus your family law practice, and I love this one because this is near and dear to my heart, and that's marketing. Number 4, you get an unfair marketing advantage. A focused practice leads to a marketing advantage in 3 distinct areas. Number 1, you build authority. Your authority grows as you become known as the focused law firm in one practice area. You are regarded more and more as an expert because that's all you do. You have the discipline to stay focused on one thing so you can become amazing at that, saying no to everything else that is a distraction or a potential detraction from your main area of expertise. And slowly you become that go-to expert in your community for that practice area, for family law. Your content begins to demonstrate deep expertise over a while. So now when you start initially, you're writing all the basic content, right? How to file, all of the major issues, you address those. But over time, as you continue to create and generate more content, you're getting into very granular, low traffic, but high response type of content. So like, for example, one area would be high net worth cases with a family business attached to it. Now, there aren't a lot of cases running around like that, but if you've got content and you're known as the expert in divorce and you've got a quote unquote specialty in that particular area, those cases start to come your way in abundance. And your thought leadership just emerges naturally from generating that type of content. All right, that's the first one. The second one is to give you an unfair marketing advantage. You create a positioning that gives you market differentiation within your community. When you've got a clear specialization, and it's like in every single thing that you do and say, and every part of your website, that does set you apart. You are no longer competing with every other firm in town. You're only competing at that point with those who are just as focused as you are. And your referral sources, they understand your sweet spot easier. They're not just wondering, I think he does that. They know either you do or you don't. They know you do family law. They send you those cases. And they do that without fear that you're going to keep that client and sell them other types of legal services that maybe the referral firm does. So there's that part of it too, that now you can get those cases that others will now send to you without any fear that you're going to hang on to that client. And third, you have a content advantage. I referred to this earlier, but each piece of content that you put out on your website, whether that be content on your blog or videos or guides or whatever you're putting out, the more you do of that, the more that begins to compound. The more the search engine algorithms see you as an expert and put you higher and higher in the rankings, the more you're known in their community as someone who does that type of family law. So your content, it's easier to write content, to produce content, to put it out there because you're only doing it about one practice area. All right, let's close it up with number 5, the 5th reason to focus your family law practice, and that is this, one that we all love and one we all appreciate. You can make more money. You will make more money. The financial benefits of focusing a family law practice compound over time. And let me tell you, compounding results are a beautiful thing. Okay, I'm gonna run through these. Number 1, under this, you can charge more. You are a specialist, and specialists have an expertise that's specialized in an area, meaning you can create more innovative and better solutions and provide a better experience to your client. And that equates to higher value to the client, and you can charge and you can be recognized for that value that you are creating for your clients. Number 2, you can control your costs better. Your operations have become more cost effective, your processes and documentation are more efficient, and your staff only has to follow a few systems or processes rather than a whole host of them for other practice areas. And you only need tools just for your practice area. You don't need to create and buy and acquire and build tools for other practice areas. Number 3, your planning gets better. This is something that doesn't show up too often, but it is absolutely a fact. Our firm has gotten so much more sharp and granular with our future planning and forecasting in our budget. It has gotten better every single year, meaning our margin of error and our predictions for the year have reduced every single year. We're getting so efficient at knowing what's going to happen and knowing the resources we need to allocate to make those things happen. Number 4, your margin of error on mistakes will go down. The fewer mistakes, the fewer interferences or disruptions that you have within your firm. There's certainly costs associated with mistakes. And so when your margin of error goes way down, as your mistakes go down, your practice becomes more profitable in the process of doing that. Meaning you have fewer missed deadlines, for example. That's an error, that's a mistake. You can spot conflicts with more specificity, and you can plan around those if you need to, and those sorts of things. All right, number 5, you have better conversion rate with your prospects. Your clients are coming in the door, your prospective clients are coming in the door knowing you're an expert. They are already partially sold coming in. Your referrals certainly are, right? They're referred to you. There's that social proof from someone they know, like, love, and trust, and they referred them to you. They're going to convert at a higher rate because your expertise directly lines up and matches your needs. So my friends, those are the 5 reasons to focused and stay disciplined in your family law practice. Your practice will get better because your lawyer is going to get better, your client service will improve, your operations will get more efficient, you'll have an unfair marketing advantage, and you'll make more money in the process. Thank you, and hope you have a great week. Well, if you found value for your family law practice in this video, the next step is to go right over to this video over here that I did on dominating family law with a great hiring process. You can focus your practice much better when you've got the right people on your team to do it, and that's what this video is all about. See you over there.